Let's talk about money for your fantasy characters. Hi, I'm Cameron and I'm a fantasy author. Yesterday we talked about the logistics of carrying around different types of outfits for your characters. And along those same lines, it got me thinking about monetary values. And more so, how our characters actually take those things from place to place. Because in traditional fantasy, we normally operate with a system of coinage, or perhaps you want to use paper currency. Maybe it's bartering, in which case bartering solves most of all of the issues that we are talking about here. But when it comes to values of different goods, when we're talking about traditional fantasy stories, we tend to think of coins and things of those natures. And those things have cost, literally. But what we're concerned about today is with the actual physical presence of all of these different things. And away from magic, where we could have a bag of holding or something like that, all of these different monetary values do take up space. Thus, it's important to give consideration for how your characters are actually going to ferry around said amount of things. We could upscale the value of what they're carrying by using different types of coinage. Think the classical 5-coin spectrum from D&D, or your local casino if you enjoy gambling. But at a certain point, you can only extend that so high, and the people that you're bartering or doing trading with are not going to be able to meet those financial breakages. That is, maybe merchants can't barter in gold coins, perhaps they only deal in coppers. Just as well, for significant sums, your characters could be wealthy, but then how do they store that? Unless you want to give your characters a loot train, you're going to have to make some concessions. One of those is you may need to store their wealth, or lack thereof, at a bank. And to that notion, it means your characters can only carry with them a certain amount of coinage at any given time or on any given adventure. The way to circumvent this is to have a regional bank, which would rely on some sort of communication system and approval. But in fantasy worlds, large-scale banking systems of that nature don't really exist. Unless they do in your world, of course. Which means that either your characters are going to have to carry with them a certain amount of wealth, or they're going to have to earn it as they go. The latter of which can be a really fun dynamic to play around in. The point of all this is, wealth matters, because the more of it your characters have, the harder it is it's going to be in order for them to move around the world with it. And if they're not adept at making sure that they can manage their monies, well, it could put a target on their back. So by managing those amounts, either with temperance, expenditure, rounding up to the next amount of coin, or banking systems, you can best facilitate your characters for movement. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and stick around for more Fantasy Foundations.